Hello, gentlemen. How are you? And ladies can join too, but I'm mostly addressing the men tonight. Okay? So, what I want to talk to you guys about is something that I actually mentioned on YouTube a couple of times in comments in response to videos and things that people have said. And basically, what I have experienced, and I've seen a lot of this, not just with me, but with other women also, is that a lot of men did not have positive male role models growing up. And the reason I know this is because when I look at their behavior now, I know that nobody taught you anything, or else you wouldn't act the way you do. All right? And I will address women at another time, but right now we're addressing men. So, because a lot of guys did not have a positive male role model to follow growing up, they become what they think a man is. So a lot of men are aggressive towards their partner, aggressive, controlling, domineering. They think that being a man means being a dictator. I'm the ruler and everyone's going to obey me. Okay? Which does not make you a man, it makes you a bully. Okay? So when I look at myself, for example, I look at my so-called parents. The father was 1000% useless because he was never in the home. He was too busy chasing women. All right? Just because somebody's biologically able to create children, that does not automatically make them a parent. It only makes them a parent biologically. Excuse me. Biologically. Yay. So any dummy could have a kid, or a couple of kids, or a lot of kids. But they're not necessarily equipped to be a parent. Okay? It just takes parts together, some physical action, moving around, wiggling around, and next thing you know, pop off, and next thing you know, someone's pregnant. It doesn't really take any brain power to do that, okay? And because it doesn't take any brain power, anyone can do it. So because Tom, and that's his real name, my so-called father, because he did not know anything about being a parent, he thought being a parent means you have to be a drill sergeant. You need to pull your belt off, and you need to start whooping kids, and you need to start smacking some rules around, and you need to start yelling at kids and your kids and telling them what they can and cannot do, and, you know, I'm the king of the castle type of thing, which is only a tiny percentage of what fatherhood is all about. So he obviously has no idea how to be a father, okay? Why? I don't know. I don't know what happened in his childhood to make him the narcissist that he is. I don't know what went wrong with my grandparents in trying to raise his behind. I don't know what went sideways, but something went sideways. And he turned into a horrible person. He could not be more self-centered if he tried, okay? So I tell you that to let you know that if you grew up in an environment where your father was never a positive role model, so he could never tell you how to treat people, how to treat young girls, how to treat young ladies. Nobody was ever there to teach you anything, but let me tell you what the good news is. The good news is there's ways that you can take it upon yourself to learn. YouTube is like college. You learn and you learn and you learn and you learn. And I don't mean you learn from some knucklehead that's dressed nice and has muscles and he's got a chiseled face and he thinks that he's all that and God's gift to women. I am talking about You learn from professionals on YouTube and people with a ton of experience, i.e. me. I am not a man, so I can't tell you how to, as a man, I can't tell you what you should and should not do, but I can tell you from a female perspective what's a complete turnoff. Okay? You have to have, number one, you have to have, let's just go to the basics, okay? You have to have manners, number one. And that isn't just for girls, that is for all genders. Manners and respect. You open the door for someone, you know, to be polite. You know, y'all ever see the commercial with the guy on the bus and he asked the older lady, would you like my seat? And then it says R-E-S-P-C-T, you know, respect, right? He didn't have to do that, but if he was raised right, he would know that that's the polite thing to do, okay? Manners and respect. Someone opens the door for you, you say thank you, all right? So before we get on the horny page and the testosterone page and you're chasing booties, we have to start with the very basics, and the basics is manners and respect for all genders, okay? Next thing that you have to have that you should have been taught growing up is self-control. There is nothing on your body that should dominate here. Nothing on your body should tell you, you know what? Yo, man, she just walked by and she got that tight little apple booty. You better jump in lying mode and you better start spitting game. Nothing on your body should dominate you and tell you how to treat someone else. And if you have a foundation already of manners and respect, your penis would not tell you how to manipulate women out of their underwears. Okay? So we're falling back to manners and respect, right? Which has nothing to do with testosterone. And I don't want to hear the bullshit that you have to have it or you're going to die, because no man is in the ER because he didn't get sex. No man is on life support. No man is in the ICU because he didn't get laid. So I'm not trying to hear all that. And not every man who is in the Navy, in the ocean, under the water for months and months and months at a time, and because he didn't get sex, he died and they had to throw his body overboard. Sayonara, I wish you the best, man. You know, on your journey out of here. I mean, come on, let's not get stupid. And they're not going to turn gay just because they're in the Navy. I got to have it. You don't understand. You're in the ocean for months and months and months. You don't die because you didn't get laid. You're not going to end up in the military Navy hospital because you didn't get laid. So you're going to learn self-control, if nothing else, in the ocean for months and months and months and months, surrounded by men. I'm pretty sure every man's not going to turn gay. So you have to have self-respect for self-respect, respect for other people, respect for yourself, okay? When you have respect for other people, every piece of the puzzle falls into place. Let me repeat that. Every piece of the puzzle falls into place. Because you're going to say to a lady, you know, my name is Brian. I hope I'm not being too forward. I noticed you when I bought my coffee. I see you sitting here reading a book. Do you mind if I join you? I hope I'm not being too forward. That's what you do. You don't stare at her booty, her breast, watch how she's sitting so you could get a glance between her legs. You don't act like a nasty animal in heat, like a stray dog on the street in an alley trying to hump any female he could get access to. You don't act like a predator. We're going back to manners and respect, right? Everything bounces back to manners and respect. I hope I'm not being too forward, but I noticed you and I'd like to talk to you. Can you mind if I sit here and we can have coffee together and get to know each other? I hope that's not too much, I hope I'm not coming off too aggressive or whatever. So everything goes back to that. And here's the thing. I wasn't raised right. I was raised by two maniacal people who never took responsibility for their own mental health. They never learned about parenting because whatever happened to them growing up destroyed them. Let's just be honest. Whatever happened to them destroyed them. So you have two poisonous people that met each other, and in all of their infinite lack of wisdom, they decided we're going to get married and pop kids out. Because you're toxic, I'm toxic, we could be toxic together. Why not? And I was born, okay? The thing of it is, here's the good news. If you were raised, men, if you were raised in a home where your father was not there, or he was abusive, or he didn't teach you nothing, because he's useless, you can learn on your own. Like I said, YouTube is like college. You can learn so much. How do I learn self-respect? That's where you should start, with self-respect. If you respect yourself and you respect your body, you're not going to fall into drugs, alcohol, nicotine. You know, when you love your body, you consider it a temple. When you consider it a temple, you have the utmost respect for it. And you're not going to put poisons in your body, because that's hurting your temple. And that's a gift that God gave you. Why destroy it? And if you're already on that page where you're destroying it, get your ass in some rehab so you can get off of that train. All right? But that's not what this video is about. Anyway, so you have to learn, you have to have a foundation, and the foundation is, again, respect. I cannot emphasize that enough. Because you were not raised correctly, there's so many avenues. There's professional therapists that you could talk to in real life. There are support groups. There are life coaches. There are relationship coaches. There are all types of avenues that you could go down that road to seek the help that you need, so that when you do your self-improvement and you start to approach people, you're going to approach them correctly, regardless of what your testosterone says and regardless of what your penis does or says. It could do a cartwheel in your pants. You're still going to say, calm down, dude. We're not doing that right now. Dude, calm down. Okay? Your mind is more powerful than your pecker. Okay? So your brain should say, yo, we're not even going there. You tell dude down there, chill the hell out. We're treating her with respect, because that's what we learned. We learned self-respect. We learned to respect other people. I don't want to hear the societal excuses. A man is a man. A man has needs. A man is going to be a hoe. He's going to sleep with everybody because that's what a man does. No, bullshit. That's what a man does that wasn't taught anything. That's what a man does who had no home training. That's what a man does when he has no self-control. It ain't got nothing to do with testosterone. That's a bunch of bullshit, and that's silly-ass excuses. All right? Treat women the way you want your sister treated if you love and respect your sister. You see what she's gone through with men. Why would you want to do the same thing to somebody else? Right? So, you have to have a foundation. Again, you already know what the foundation is. It's respect, self-respect, and respect for other people. And you practice a dialogue. You know, look on YouTube and see if there's couples, happy couples, that are giving advice. This is how this person approached me. I was really impressed with that. So yes, I thought I'd give her a chance or him a chance. And next thing you know, they fell into a relationship and they're doing very well. They're very happy. They've been together for years. They're doing very, very well. Okay? Follow what their, what happened for them that worked, and see if that would work for you also. Because if she's got respect for herself, she's not going to respond to some dude going, yo, baby, damn, look at, turn around, let me look at that ass of yours. Damn, I could rest my drink on that butt. She's not going to respond to that if she's got some class. She's not going to respond to that. She's going to be like, you got 2 seconds to get your horny ass out of my face, is what's going to happen. Get out of my face. So, you also have to remember that we're like deer. Women are like deer. We're being hunted all the time. All the time. We are being hunted, stared at, There are bosses. Our bosses are, and yes, a lot of women have been through that, where their boss is staring at their tits. She's talking about, the meeting that's coming up on Friday, and he's staring at her boobs going, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. He hasn't heard a word she said. Yes, I've been through that. Okay? Obviously, he wasn't raised right either. So we're always being hunted. The last thing we need from you is to have you be a hunter also. Women with class don't respond to that. And if you treat her with respect, you're probably going to get that anyway. You'll get a piece of her later anyway, not now because it's inappropriate right now. You just met. Watch what you say. Everything that's in here should not come out of here. Let me repeat that. Everything in here should not come out of here. So in your mind, you're going, damn, her boobs look like the nicest cantaloupes I've ever seen in my life. Keep that shit to yourself. Keep that shit to yourself. All you have to do is tell her, you look you look nice. You look really, really nice. That color shirt, the blue in your shirt brings out the blue in your eyes. You look amazing. And that's as far as you take it. Got it? That's as far as you take it. Let me surprise you with something else. We are humans. Women are human beings first. We're not body parts. We're human beings. We have emotions. We have creativity. We have love in our heart for the right people in the right scenario. We have loyalty. We have self-respect. I'm not talking about loony women. I'm talking about women who do have respect for themselves. She's going to respect herself and she's going to make you respect her too. And if you can't, she's not even going to make you respect her. If you can't respect her, she's going to cut you loose. Because at a certain age, you are old enough that you should already have been taught how to talk to people, how to approach them. You should have already been through that. And if you haven't, it's time for you to do some homework. My friend Shahrazad Morgan, she's on YouTube. She talks about how guys should talk to couples, happy couples. I agree. What worked for them? How did you approach her? How did you come on to her? How long have you known each other? How do you guys handle conflict? Don't worry about tits and ass, because that's the last thing that should be on your freaking mind. Because if she's the hottest woman that you ever saw, and she's a psychopath, her vagina is irrelevant. Okay? Her vagina, her boobies, her behind is irrelevant if she's a nut job. Okay? Eileen Wuornos, who was executed, if I'm not mistaken, she was executed. She hated men. She murdered them. She murdered as many men as she could. She looks like a lunatic. If you look at her, you're like, oh yeah, she's crazy, I could tell. So what's more important than boobs and ass and her V should be what's up here. What's in here? What's in here? Is she mentally sound? Is she a narcissist? Is she addicted to anything? Does she have a shopping addiction? Does she get along with her family? Does she respect her parents? And why? Don't run because there's an issue there. Find out why there's an issue there and how does she respond to that. If her parents and her family are toxic but she's healthy and she's going to therapy, she's going to cut them loose, because you cannot heal in the same space that caused you to be sick in the first place, or that caused you to have psychological damage in the first place. You cannot heal if you stay in that same scenario. So everyone who is toxic in that group, we're going to cut them loose, because I'm not going to allow you to continue to mess with my brain. So no, I don't have a connection with them, and no, I will never have a connection with them. And no, I don't miss them. Okay? We are human beings. Many times we are the glue that holds the family together. Many times once you have our heart, you've got it for life. If you act like you got some damn sense, you can have it for life. But you have to step up to the plate, and you have to come up with the proper respect, manners, the proper words, the proper verbiage, the proper approach, you have to put the effort in, okay? Because if you're still single and you have a tendency to be attracted to toxic women, and I know good guys that are attracted to toxic women, until you break that cycle, you're never going to be happy, and you're always going to attract toxic women. So look at your track record. Is everybody that you've ever been with a lunatic? You need to find out where that comes from. Maybe your mom's a lunatic, and I'm not being funny, I'm serious. Some people, a lot of people choose partners just like one of their parents or just like their parents, because that's what you're used to. So subconsciously you choose people like that. If that's the case, you have to get to the bottom. You have to make that connection in your head. And once you make that connection, you can research, how do I learn to have healthier relationships? Because all the relationships I had in the past have never worked for me. So I need to do something different. I have seen it time and time again, where there's either toxic men attracted to toxic women, or good men that are attracted to toxic women because he grew up like that. His mom's she's gone. And I've also experienced where guys have had a toxic relationship with their mother. She's out there. So he has no filter, and he says anything that blurts out of his face. That doesn't impress women, okay? Everything in here doesn't need to come out of here. Everything in here doesn't need to come out of here. So here's the thing. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. So it's time for you to do something completely different. It is time for you to stop sniffing up skirts. It is time for you to focus on you. How can I be better? What can I do in my life that's going to improve me? Do I have hobbies? What are my long-term goals? What do I want in a partner besides ass? Because that's irrelevant. You need a solid foundation. If you build a house on quicksand, that sucker's going to sink. Let me say that again. If you build a house on quicksand, it's going to sink. So you have to have a solid foundation. Solid foundation starts with you. You have to get your mind strong. You have to get your body strong. You have to find out. You have to learn who you are. And if you have to stay single for a couple of years so you can learn who you are, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Because you want to be the best person that you could be before you get with somebody else. You're no good to them if you're no good to yourself. Right? And you better stop falling into peer pressure. Because a lot of guys are teaching, they're teaching their homeboys, hey man, you need to try to get with that. She looks good, right? You need to be smacking those skins. You gonna mess around and they're gonna be single forever, and you're gonna be single because you're copying what they're doing. You gotta think for yourself and stop following the crowd, because the crowd will pull you down to the bottom level, the bottom rung on the ladder. They will pull you down with them. So you need to have quality friends, intelligent friends, respectful friends, successful friends, people that will pull you up instead of pull you down. So look at the type of people that you hang with, because if you hang with slime, you're going to turn into slime. Okay? So watch who you hang with. Watch who you associate with. Do you hang out with professional people because one day I want to be like that? I get my ambition because my friends are on the high track and I want to go on the high track too one day. You're not going to, if you're hanging around barflies or hanging around bars, you're going to get barflies, okay? You need to watch your circle of the type of people you hang with. So have a relationship with yourself first. And a lot of guys don't realize this, okay? And some women too, but we're talking about men right now. If you Don't ever get your head together. You're looking at a lifetime of, here you are, 45, 50 years old. You're single. You done poked everybody you could poke. You're losing your looks. Let's just keep it real. You don't look 20 no more. Okay? It's harder to snag people. Snag. Because you're older. Because you maybe put on a few pounds. Because you've got health concerns now. Because you don't have the energy you used to, or you got a bad back now, you got injured when you were whatever years old, whatever the case is. You're not the same person you were when you were young and you thought you were invincible. And for those people, and men in their 50s and above, 40s and 50s, they don't get it. They're just totally oblivious to this, okay? They're going to find out the hard way. When you use people your whole life, and that's all it is, when you're bumping and grinding with everybody, you're using them. So you're not going to have anybody in your corner. No one's going to be on your side. No one's going to be in your corner. Because everything you've ever done was to satisfy your skin, your flesh, your carnal needs, which has no importance in your life. That's just physical. Okay? So now you done wore your penis out. You're older. You might not be able to sustain strong erections anymore because you're older, and your body don't work the same anymore. When you're in your 40s and 50s, it doesn't work the same anymore. It does not. Okay? The wind doesn't blow, and all of a sudden your heart is a rock. Your body changes when you get older. So now, because you didn't work on this, you worked on him. Okay? The wrong head. Now you're alone. Now you've got health issues, and you're looking at if your body deteriorates depending on what's wrong with you, if you have medical problems, or you're 60, 70 years old, you got health problems, whatever. You don't have family because your parents died. You don't have a partner anymore because you were acting simple your whole life and you were chasing booties. Now life is getting serious. Both your parents have died. You don't have anybody by your side because a woman is going to be your best friend, your nurse, your therapist, your cheerleader, your best friend, your confidant, your everything. Not just a piece of tail, baby. She's going to be your everything if she's a good woman and you're good to her. But if you don't have a solid relationship because you were acting stupid when you were younger, you're going to pay for that when you're older and you're by yourself. Now you're angry at women. You're angry at the world. Women ain't nothing but bitches anyway. And that ain't got nothing to do with them. It has to do with you and the choices that you have made. And those choices turn around and bite you on your ass. Now you've got nobody in your corner because you made life all about ass. So now you've got no friend, no therapist, no cheerleader. Women are the rock that holds the family together. You ain't got none of that. So what you've done in the past will turn around and bite you on your behind. What's from the past will bite you on your ass. So you will have karma for everything that you do. It will catch up to you. Okay? It will catch up to you. Now you're in your house, alone, as usual. You go to family outings, and I've said this before. Holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever. Birthdays, anniversaries, babies, new babies in the family, and you're there by yourself. And everybody else is coupled up except you. And you could be the reason why. So there's more to it than ass. There has to be a lot more to it. And if that's where your head's at, you need to stop dating and you need to focus on what's more important. Because I've said this before, I say it again. If you're laying up in the hospital and you just had surgery, or you could die, or you need an organ of some sort, or whatever the hell is up with you, and you ain't got nobody to hold your hand, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? And nobody thinks they're ever going to end up in the hospital. I am Superman. I've always had my health. I will always have my health. I thought the same thing. I worked in the medical field. I took care of other people. Did I ever think I would need to be taken care of? No. And yes, I went through all my surgeries by myself because I'm not going to tolerate somebody telling me on the first date, your boobs look good in your shirt. He got his ass thrown in the trash where he belongs. I will deal with my surgery alone. I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not. You come at me like a pervert, you're done. Done. Fired. Some women with class are not going to tolerate that. They're just not. Keep it in here, not here. Keep it in here. Don't let it come out of here, because she may not say anything at the time, but then when you go back home, she had time to think and think and think about the multitude. One thing wrong, two things wrong, three things wrong. 3 strikes, you're out. She writes you a nice little text, not so nice text, that says, you know, I think you're a pervert and I'm looking for someone with class and I'm looking for a solid relationship, and you are obviously not prepared to have a solid relationship, and you don't respect women, so lose my number. I'm done. Now you get your feelings hurt because you're so used to being a pervert with other women and the wrong women, and they were so giggly. Oh, your breasts look like succulent melons. And she's like, oh my God, you think so? Not everybody thinks that's cute. Not everybody thinks that's cute. Okay? So stop dating for a while. Get your head on straight. Ask yourself, where can I improve in my life? What areas do I need work in? And once you have a relationship with yourself and you get this straight, and forget about that thing down there, because that thing could get you in a lot of trouble. Your penis could get your ass in a lot of trouble. So you better get a grip on it. Okay, and I don't mean literally, although you might have to do that too if you don't have any self-control. And I strongly suggest men masturbate before they go on a date, because y'all have no self-control. Pop that thing off, get you a shower, okay, before you go on a date with somebody, because nobody with class wants you sitting there at the table going, no. There's more to life than ass, and you're going to mess around, and you're going to be an old man alone. And I did talk to a guy on a dating site, one conversation was enough for me. And he is the most bitter, angry man I've ever talked to in my life. He takes pride in telling people off. I told this person off and you don't charge me that much on my bill, and I was dropping the F-bomb. Wow. And you wonder why he's single. He sounds like a freaking charmer. Not. You're going to be just like him. And you're going to be blaming women. When in reality, it needs to start with you. Examine your heart and your soul, your intentions, your true intentions. And do you want your life to be better, or do you want it to be the same way it's always been? If you want changes, you have to be the change. And you have to figure out what's important to you. Okay? So, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. And if you've been choosing the wrong women, you have a habit of choosing abusive women, narcissistic women, women that are all about money. And stop calling women gold diggers, because men are gold diggers too. Men are gold diggers too, okay? Nowadays, nobody has money. My eyes are watering because I'm right in front of the fan. But nobody has any money anymore. Okay, so nobody's really digging in your pocket. I don't give a rat's ass about your money. All I care about is, are you straight up here? Because your money cannot save me if you turn into a psychopath. Your money's not going to jump out the bank and come rushing to your house and beat you up to get you off of me if you decide you want to choke the shit out of me or you want to kill me or something. Your money's not going to save me. So I don't really give a shit about that. I do care about this. And I do care about, do you have a heart? Do you have good intentions? Are you mentally of sound mind? If you had some serious issues in the past, have you ever been to therapy? And you know what else? Let me tell you something else. There's nothing wrong with therapy. There's nothing wrong with that. I've been to therapy because my parents are nuts. And I didn't want to be nuts like them. Okay? So, there's nothing wrong with that. You shouldn't be embarrassed about that. You don't go to therapy because you're crazy. You go to therapy so you don't become crazy. Okay? So, if you have toxic parents, and because of it, you've made some horrible choices with partners, go to therapy and get this straight, because you're not mentally prepared for a relationship, because you have to deal with all of those toxic scenarios in your head so that they don't continue to repeat themselves every time you meet someone new. And those situations that were toxic, if you don't get help for that, you pack them in a suitcase, you zip up the suitcase, and you take it with you into every single relationship. And what happens is the top of the suitcase gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's bulging. See how it's bulging? Because all of your issues are expanding the suitcase. So you have to deal with your mental baggage. I'm crying, but not really. It's because of the fan. Deal with your mental baggage and stop carrying it around like a badge of honor. What? Stop carrying it around like a badge of honor. Work through those issues. If you want a real relationship, that's meaningful and you're capable of being monogamous, otherwise go into polyamory or something like that. But if you want something that is solid and meaningful, you're going to have to work for it. And keep your damn mouth shut about her body parts. I done told y'all that before. I don't want to hear, she don't want to hear, Sue and Sally and Jane and whoever, Samantha, they don't want to hear about their behind. Oh, you got a big ass butt. I didn't know your butt was that big. Damn, girl, damn. She don't want to hear that shit coming out your goddamn mouth. Okay? You see me getting pissed? We're tired of it. Get this straight before you think about being with somebody else. Because if you keep talking trashy, you're going to end up with trashy people. Classy people don't want that. They don't want to hear that bullshit. Okay? Have some self-control. Have some manners. And utilize YouTube. You could, my God, there's all kinds of professional people on YouTube that will teach you, how do I have self-love? How do I have self-respect? How do I approach women? How do I deal with my toxic family? Let me tell you something else. I cut mine off because it's no loss. It's no loss. If you stay in a situation that's poisoning you, you're going to continue to get poisoned. You don't owe your parents anything. They gave birth to you and they tried to destroy you. If that's the scenario, you don't owe them anything. Cut their asses loose and move on with your life and learn how to have more positive connections. What you were taught, you need to do the opposite of that. Okay? Because you were taught toxicity. That does not work outside of that situation. People that are classy, people that are intelligent, people that are ambitious, people that are articulate, they don't want to deal with that bullshit. Get this straight. Stop worrying about the wrong things. Because you're going to be 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, and you're going to be talking about all women are bitches and I hate them. Which is going to keep you alone, I might add. Okay? Nobody gets turned on by that. Nobody normal gets turned on by that. Okay? So stop focusing on stupidness. Focus on mature things that are going to improve you as a human being. If a woman is using you and you find that out right away, get rid of her ass. I don't care how fine she is. I don't care. If she's toxic, cut her loose. If you have to go home and cry about it because she's the most beautiful woman you ever saw in your life, go home and cry. But cut her ass loose. Because everything that glitters is not gold. Sometimes it's fool's gold. Y'all take care. Much love. Bye-bye.